Hi Cancer, welcome to your August 2019 General Tarot reading. It's Raina here. So I'm looking forward to August. I don't know about you, but I am. And there's a lot of energy as the month begins in your second house because Leo is very prominent with planets there. So that's your house of money, and that could be a great time for you. So let's see what the cards can suggest. This is the Wild Unknown Tarot deck. And remember too that we're coming out of the eclipses, and that can definitely affect how we go into the next month, because it's like kind of the aftermath, okay? And as a matter of fact, the Heart of the Matter card is a card that, I love this, just this version, the Ten of Swords, right between the eyes. And the Ten of Swords, I mean, even if you didn't know what the tarot means, if you see a deck where they really illustrate it, this is not obviously going to be faithful to the Rider-Waite deck, but you can at least tell that it's something unpleasant. But the number 10 is a number of completion and an ending of a cycle. So this could show that the worst of your situation is over, like the nightmare is over. So just looking back at the month of July with the eclipses, and knowing that there was a lunar eclipse in Capricorn, which I think, whoa, that felt like really intense. I don't know how many of you felt the same way. Like right after that date, like for a couple of days, I was like, whoa, not really feeling really all that great right after that. And after a few days passed, I was back to my normal self. But for you, that was your opposite sign of Capricorn. And that may have been affecting relationships for you. In some cases, maybe even a work situation, depending on your particular chart. But, like maybe you just finally walked off the job. But definitely with relationships, you may have felt like, okay, that's it. I've been insulted long enough, or I've put up with this long enough. It could have come to a boiling point ahead. And there were other things that went along with this, including Pluto in the South Node. I can't remember, something along those lines that really kind of hit home this issue of kind of karmic completion and stuff like that. And so if we look at relationships in terms of lifetimes where we've been kind of dealing with the same problems. Just think about if you are married to somebody for 30 years and there's like a continuous theme in the relationship of certain things that, you just can't see eye to eye on. Even if you have a relatively good relationship, you can still have these areas that are kind of like trouble spots. And imagine having this lifetime after lifetime. I mean, it becomes more logical, actually, to imagine that you could be struggling with the same issues in one form or the other. But then it could be like you pulling the plug and saying no more. And really, that can be the end of the problem. And sometimes, people, I think it's just human nature to really go and prolong the inevitable because they're afraid of what it's, of the alternative. Of not having a particular person in their life, for instance. And it just is that transitional, what would you call it, transitional period where you have to adjust. But then you might say, oh my God, why didn't I do this 10 years ago? It's like you were dreading a certain thing. So this can be kind of the aftermath if you have left a long-term relationship, or even, any kind of relationship that is a committed partnership type of thing. But it could be in the workplace as well. It definitely could. And you might just have said, I am tired of this. And actually, when I look at the past position, we have the 10. Here's another 10. 10 of Wands, which is, possibly carrying the load of somebody else. So you might have been doing the work of two people and getting the paycheck of one. You might be somebody who has had to deal with, if this is like a personal relationship, that you have been doing a lot of the heavy lifting in the relationship. And it's just not, there's nothing for you there anymore. Or even like, someone who continuously forgives and tries to make the relationship good, and then you find out that the person is cheating. Now, this is something that has already happened and that you are coping with right now. It's not something that is going to happen. So only you know if this rings true for you. Obviously, this is like a general reading for every Cancer person, but who knows? Maybe there's some kind of way that this relates to your life. Maybe the 10 of Swords isn't a spouse. Maybe it's a friend that you have tried to help, and all they do is complain, or they're never satisfied. They just keep asking more and more of you, and maybe you tried to babysit their children, and then they got mad because one time you said, no, I can't do it, or this isn't a good time for me, and then they just like gave you, read you the riot act, and you might have been like, whoa, I've done so much for them, and then the one time I say no, they disrespect me like this, and then you see them in a different light, and you're like, I don't want anything to do with this. So yeah, that there could be different things that are going on for you. Now, it's just like, it could be even like burning out because of the stress, in the workplace, having a lot of demands placed on you. The higher message is the Two of Pentacles. And what this would be saying to me is that you have a lot on your plate right now, Cancer. Maybe you need to cut out some of the things that you think are obligations. And what do they call that when you give it to somebody else? It's something. I can't think of that word. Where you delegate. That's it. And you give the work to somebody else. So for instance, maybe you need some me time, and it's like you're stretched very thin. Perhaps you need to like go out and pay a babysitter so that you can go and get a massage or something like that. Just something that gives you that time away from caretaking other people. Perhaps, I think I did, maybe it was for the astrology for August, where I was saying something very similar, and I was saying, Cancer people tend to be very nurturing to others, but you have to nurture yourself as well. The 10 of Wands can be a card of burnout, and that comes when you're taking on too much. And some of those things that you're taking on may not be things that you should be doing. In other words, you're doing for others what they should be doing for themselves. Two of Pentacles can even indicate, though, maybe you need to start your own little business on this side so that you can leave a job or have like a part-time job so that you have something to go to. Because with the 10 of Swords, if this feels like it's a work-related situation and you have not quit because of the financial burden that it would put upon yourself and you just can't financially, then the other thing that it might be suggesting is that you need to have another income stream so that you can be able to leave with a sense of peace in your heart. But if this is a work situation with the 10 of Swords it's like they finally crossed a line that you realize you can't go back. So those first two cards that I were talking about are cards that are related to endings. And it's like you may have given people the benefit of the doubt that long ago you should have known that they were not in your camp, if you will, that they were not supportive of you based upon what they were up to. And yet you kind of like continue to allow them, to be in your life to some degree. The card that crosses you is the Father of Swords, which is the King of Swords. This is like, I'm reading this as the King of Swords in reverse. This is a male, could be of the air signs, Gemini, Aquarius, or Libra, or maybe they have that prominent in their chart, and they have a tendency to be very insensitive, and there's almost like a cruelty with this person where they say things deliberately to wound and also to get inside of your head. If, and I did get, the Ten of Swords. So it's like the end of this type of behavior, because this person, if this is like a narcissistic personality type, these are people that do not feel powerful within themselves, but they may be in positions of power, like a boss or a person that you are with, who may also be a father, the father of your child even. And these people do not have connection to their emotions. That's what makes them so dangerous, because they can wound people and they don't feel that sense of, oh man, I crossed over that line. They are doing so intentionally to disempower the other person. And the thing too is that they can be master manipulators by gaslighting, which is which is like psychological warfare. It's basically getting you to question your sanity, because they deny that they said certain things that they did, but they also twist what you say into a certain way that makes it seem like you are doing something that you're not doing. And you may spend all of your energy trying to convince them that you're really okay, that you're not doing this or that, when you should be trying to get away from such a person, because there's nothing to be gained to be with a person that is really a destructive individual. Maybe this is a father. Maybe this is your father. And that they have tried to get you to do things for them that have taken away from your own life. So if they are high maintenance, and of course, you're the type of person who wants to take care of family, even if you're an adult and you're dealing with a parent. You may feel like this sense of obligation. You're very family oriented. However, this person can be doing so in order to gain all the attention instead of trying to find it within themselves. It's not our job to be at somebody's beck and call, especially if they have the ability to do things for themselves but are choosing not to, because they want somebody to kind of always be taking care of them. Sometimes it's a necessity, or it's something that you choose to do because you really love someone and you really want to do it, and it doesn't feel like a burden. We're not talking about that. We're talking about a situation where you are being manipulated by somebody. Maybe it's a father or a grandfather, and the person is capable of more than they are letting on. It's not that they are incapacitated, but that they are playing at helplessness so that they can get you to always be doing things for them, but then that takes you away from your life, your goals, your family, your downtime, you know? So it could be one of those deals as well. And you have to make that judgment call of whether or not, this is all your responsibility. If you are an adult child of of a parent who does need assistance, and you feel that is a legitimate request, but all of the work is falling on you, and you do have siblings that live close by, then it's up to you to contact your siblings and say, listen, I have a job, I have a family, I can't do this all by myself. And I need you guys to help me. And delegate, among them, so that you're not just doing everything for yourself, by yourself. The advice is the Star card. It could be what's coming in. This is a card of healing and hopefulness. That was another thing when I got this card, I was thinking in terms of the Ten of Swords. And I was thinking, yes, I do believe that if you have hit bottom, represented by the Ten of Swords, Cancer, that you are rising up now and you are healing, and that you feel you are going to feel in August more hopeful about your life, that there may be things that are coming true for you that, help this feeling along, and that you are able to kind of get into that good vibration, so that you are, because in the law of attraction, that's one of the things that they talk about, which is about feeling optimistic, feeling hopeful. That feeling generates positive outcomes. So in other words, some people think, well, I'll feel like the Star card when good things start happening to me, when it's actually the other way around. You have to generate those feelings. And actually the Star card is about having faith when it's not, the thing hasn't transpired yet, but you have faith in it, and you have a sense that this is going to happen. The Star card is connected to Aquarius. We do have a full moon in Aquarius on the 15th of the month. Unless this is an actual person who is an Aquarius, the sign, born under the sign of Aquarius. But I'm trying to think. That would actually fall in your 8th house, that full moon in Aquarius. So that might be something to connect with an inheritance issue. And one thing I want to say about the Ten of Swords, I don't even know if I said this, is that this is a feeling of betrayal. So there may be something that has gone on that has made you feel like you have been stabbed in the back, now metaphorically speaking. That somebody that you trusted betrayed you. And with the Ten of Wands in the past position, you may have even gone out of your way to help that person, that, putting stress on your own life, only to see this happen. The outcome is the Four of Pentacles, which is a great card for financial security. So if there's some kind of a situation where you have felt that perhaps something was not given to you that you deserved, financially speaking, maybe you will actually have that come to you. Like I said, you have, 2 houses activated that are connected to money. The 2nd house with Leo, and then that full moon in the opposite sign of Aquarius, and that's other people's money, the 8th house. So there could be some kind of a situation coming about in August for you, Cancer, that will take off some of the pressure. Like, you know, with the Two of Pentacles, perhaps you've been spreading yourself too thin. Maybe you've been working 2 jobs and that has created too much stress in your life. And sometimes people are working 2 jobs because they are in a relationship with somebody else who's generating the need for more expenditures, and that person isn't working. So they're doing, you know, they're like working for themselves and the other person. So perhaps you're going to have some kind of, maybe it is a financial, you know, situation improve for yourself, and then that will take off some of the pressure. But in any case, it does look good for the money, and it also looks good for your spirits lifting, where, you know, just like those first 2 cards, it was a little bit like, that's pretty intense. But now that was then and this is now. So congratulations. And anyway, I hope that you enjoyed this, Cancer. If you'd like a private reading, my website is rainamoonastrology.com and the link is below. Take care. Bye.